to article after article of people being like, Ellen is a nasty person. And all these staffers started to come out, not for nothing, but I know a guy, I know him very well, whose sister worked for her, who said, you were not allowed to make eye contact with Ellen in the halls of that show. If you saw her, this is not a nice person. So she eventually got canceled, but now she's coming back.
Rob Schneider and Megyn Kelly are working together to give Ellen DeGeneres a harsh reality check, so have your coffee close at hand. Of course, according to reports, the journalist and comedian are closely examining Ellen's popular Be Kind persona. However, they think there could be issues going on behind the scenes rather than joyful occasions and smiles. As harsh criticism increasingly focuses on what formerly seemed to be flawless, Ellen's carefully constructed public persona may be beginning to crumble.
I have a question for you on this. This is perfect for you. Because I'm seeing this week that there is an attempted comeback by somebody who did not cross one of those fateful lines of the misstepping on their sacred cows of gender or race or sexuality.
Yeah.
But she was said to be a nasty biatch, and that's Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah.
So her show got canceled after she had this testy exchange with Dakota Johnson, where something happened where Dakota said, I had this birthday party, and Ellen said, well, why didn't you invite me? You didn't invite me. And she said, no, I did invite you, Ellen. That's not what happened. And Ellen had blown her off and then tried to play the victim on the set with her. Anyway, it led to article after article.
It's similar to seeing a fantastic concert abruptly collapse, and the reviewers aren't holding back. Imagine two unexpected voices challenging the mainstream narrative on daytime television. Megyn Kelly has a crisp and serious demeanor, while Rob Schneider offers chaos and audacious comedy. All of them have their sights set on Ellen DeGeneres and the loving environment that surrounds her. It almost seems surreal. Schneider is renowned for his audacious humor, whereas Kelly stands for rigorous journalism. Think about the discussions that take place in private.
All people on earth to be feeling sorry for herself, Ellen DeGeneres should not be on the list.
She should at least, but make a real apology and do it.
There's no apology. It's just woe is me. I was run out of Hollywood as she speaks from this grandiose stage on Netflix. Hello, you haven't been canceled if you are doing a Netflix special. She got $20 million for the one before this.
Megyn Kelly has a reputation for speaking up about issues that go unresolved, and today was no exception. She didn't keep quiet. Rather, she questioned Ellen DeGeneres and the meticulously constructed picture around her. It was like seeing someone carefully disassemble a Lego castle while highlighting all of its flaws. Kelly was vehemently opposed to what she saw as a polished public persona of charity. Even though it was a risky decision, she obviously felt that it was necessary.
We're gonna let her back in, Rob, because she's a lesbian, she's a leftist, and she didn't hit one of their sacred cows. Nastiness, that's their bread and butter.
Well, I think everyone, I will say, the resentment, I think everyone should have a chance for reconciliation. I don't think Jesus exempted anybody. And so I do, while it does, because I have been allowed back in, but I don't hold any grievance and resentment. It's very important. And I would just say for Ellen, the resentment, you have to get over resentment to whatever addiction or addictive qualities happen. To get over it, you have to deal with resentment and address it, and then otherwise you're going to fall back into the same path.
Let's be truthful. For years, everyone enjoyed seeing Ellen DeGeneres portray herself as a friendly and humorous friend. Reports of a poisonous atmosphere, however, began to paint a completely different picture over time. They eventually reached a breaking point as the murmuring continued to become louder. It seems odd that someone who was renowned for encouraging compassion was allegedly employed in such a demanding setting. Megyn Kelly also didn't handle it like a couple minor grievances. She alluded to more serious issues, including evading accountability. Kelly intervened to inquire as to what could have been going on behind the scenes, giving the impression that the whole act of compassion was staged rather than entirely sincere.
The right response.
Yeah.
She's got a Netflix special. And here's the capper. On the promo, she plays the victim. And she says, for me. And she actually has the nerve to say that she was run out of Hollywood. This person
with she with $100 million in her pocket.
$450 million according to Forbes. That's a low estimate.
Yeah.
Because so now she's out there saying, I was run out of Hollywood. She's actually reportedly complaining about how hard it is for women in America with the double standards.
Look at Oprah, how hard it is for her.
Oh, she's got, like 10 houses, Ellen DeGeneres?
Michelle Obama. Look how hard it is for women in America. They're hurt.
Didn't Ellen DeGeneres' well-known "Be Kind" tagline ultimately turn into a joke? The contrast between her on-screen persona and the behind-the-scenes tales became apparent. It was like selling kindness while reports suggested something very different. Rob Schneider, on the other hand, handled it in a wild and funny way. However, a plan was still in place. By emphasizing the drama and irony around such "be kind" emotions, he rendered them humorous.
With a single tweet, a user asked his followers to share the craziest stories they'd heard about Ellen being rude, and what followed was pure chaos. It was like watching thousands of people piece together a giant puzzle of bad behavior. One user replied with, quote, "I worked at Real Food Daily, served her and Portia at brunch. She wrote a letter to the owner and complained about my chipped nail polish. Not that it was on her plate, but just that it was on my hand. I had worked till the closing night before, and it was just the next morning. Almost got me fired."
Rob Schneider saw The Ellen Show as an odd place where artificial cheerfulness and smiles were commonplace. Imagine attempting to maintain a positive attitude throughout the day, even while engaging in informal talks behind the scenes. Ellen DeGeneres' public demeanor is entirely at odds with that image. Schneider's message seems to be straightforward. I don't fully buy it. Everything didn't seem natural to him. Everything felt deliberately managed. His straightforward demeanor immediately cuts through Hollywood sheen. Even though he may seem to be a comic, many people think that his remarks about the Queen are accurate.
The Ellen situation. Yeah. You know, people found out that Ellen was mean, and all these people came out and said, Ellen's actually a bitch. And then we're like, whoa. Yeah. Can't believe it. And she lost everything. She fell apart, disappeared, because people found out that this character that she was portraying in a half an hour on a television show is not really who she was. My buddy Greg, who was one of her writers, was like, she's a piece of shit. And he was like, she's a monster.
Together, Rob Schneider and Megyn Kelly produced a powerful wave of truth-telling. Kelly's thorough, inquisitive approach and Schneider's witty humor revealed flaws in Ellen DeGeneres' public persona. Consider it this way, Kelly painstakingly studies the problem while Schneider uses audacious humor to break things down. Despite their peculiar pairing, their combined influence is difficult to ignore. Hollywood compassion begins to seem less cohesive, as if it were disintegrating piece by piece. Their message seems to be quite clear. Individuals may need to reevaluate their idealized recollections.
Have they made progress with the strike?
They're picketing right now, so I think it's the early stages. I would think it might take a little bit with this one.
When someone crosses the writer strike, that's some dirty shit. Do they cross the picket line?
Yeah, I've never seen anybody doing that yet.
I think Ellen did. I had a buddy of mine who was writing on Ellen. Everybody kind of knows now what she's really all about. And that's another one of those. Like, press. I'm so nice and I'm so sweet. Being behind the scenes.
The irony of this situation is difficult to overlook. Even if following stories revealed a more nuanced picture behind the scenes, Ellen DeGeneres' career was founded on compassion, comedy, and making people feel good. It's similar to seeing a talented performer wow the crowd, yet tension may be present off stage. Suddenly, the vibrant objects and trademarked phrases felt more like artifacts from a contentious past than sources of inspiration. From a distance, it seems to be a perplexing contrast. A charitable public character coexists with assertions of something very different. It's similar to putting too much pressure on something that was never as powerful as it seemed to be.
People would have been pleasantly surprised to find out I'm kind.
Well, yeah, that's disingenuous. That's disingenuous.
Yeah, disingenuous.
Disgenerous. That's disgenerous. Well, I think there's certainly no lack of, I don't sense any humility in that.
No, and no one cares that now she's dealing with chickens. It's like, all right,
You're a normal $450 million person.
And by the way, I guarantee you she's
Who's
worth
taking
a
care
lot
of her
more.
chickens? I guarantee, what's that? You guarantee what?
She's worth a lot more than $450 million.
Her art alone.
And like those talk shows.
It's intriguing that two quite different viewpoints yielded the same results. Like a jigsaw puzzle with missing parts, Ellen DeGeneres' image may seem well crafted, but not entirely authentic. Megyn Kelly and Rob Schneider have differing perspectives on these issues, but there is more to this than simply one individual. It draws attention to a more pervasive problem in celebrity culture. Perfect photos may conceal a completely different reality. It acts as a reminder that not everything is as flawless as it looks, and that appearances may be deceiving.
Too much. I can't stand these rich celebrities who want us to feel sorry for them. We don't, right? It's like all those you saw, like Julia Roberts on the Oprah special with Kamala Harris, like, oh, and Meryl Streep. Like,
I know, winning over the hearts of people who live in gated communities everywhere.
Well, wait, are these still your people? Are you still in California?
No, I had to move out of California because I got little kids. And
we understand why.
It's dangerous that, in California, take your kids, in public schools. In the morning you drop off a girl, in the afternoon you pick up a boy. You never know.
Now, the polished apologies and emotional farewells can appear more like damage control than genuine closure. The narrative had already taken on a life of its own before Ellen DeGeneres addressed it. At the same time, audiences are no longer passive observers. They are more aware and questioning of how public personas are shaped. Even small past details can now be reinterpreted as signs of a larger disconnect. What follows could be a comeback built on transparency or a cautionary example of how quickly public opinion can shift. In either case, Hollywood continues to reassess how it presents and manages its public image.